the first sensors register the magnitude 11 shock. And an alert goes out through the global seismographic network to scientists all over the world.
Our planet really has an EKG attached to it. And so if a magnitude 11 earthquake goes off, then worldwide, as those seismic waves hit the seismographs, scientists all over the world, and indeed citizens all over the world who are tuned into the internet, see that something very, very dramatic is happening.
A team of geologists in Japan waste no time in booking flights to the US. Their colleagues all over the world are doing the same. From above the shores of Yellowstone Lake, 75 miles away, it's easy to see the eruption's bizarre pillar of light.
The rod of light would be going essentially as high as you could see. It would be 100 miles above you, as high as you could see, to the top of the sky.
Florida has a near total abortion ban, with no real exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of the woman. It bans abortion before many women even realize they are pregnant. The only way to stop the ban is to vote yes on 4. Amendment 4 is simple. It will protect the right to abortion in the Florida Constitution. Florida women should have the right to make their own healthcare decisions in consultation with their doctors and those they trust. Vote yes to give Florida women their rights back.
The Mexican hiker above the lake streams video to the web.
No one has seen anything like this before. For all intents and purposes, this looks exactly like an asteroid impact happening in reverse. It's as though the Earth has projected an enormous amount of itself out into space at blinding speeds.
Another 5 seconds later, the shockwave hits. Miles away, Old Faithful is suddenly quiet. The famous geyser may never be seen again.
As the shockwave travels across Yellowstone, it's going to encounter the cavity where the reservoir of water is for Old Faithful, which is very vulnerable to something like a shockwave, and it would get crushed.
All that's left of the geyser is a wisp of steam. Traveling at 18,000 miles per hour, the blast wave reaches Salt Lake City, 260 miles away in less than 1 minute.
The Great Mormon Temple in Salt Lake City was reinforced against earthquake at roughly Richter 8. The building would collapse, the spires would crumble as if there were no reinforcement whatsoever. The difference between the magnitude of this shaking and the magnitude of the shaking from a Richter 8 earthquake is roughly 1,000-fold.
And this is just the beginning of the disaster. In less than a minute, 25,000 people are dead. The survivors are the lucky ones who avoid debris from collapsing buildings. The shockwave's killer strength will extend 500 miles in all directions. But that's just the beginning. What follows could be the greatest catastrophe in the history of mankind. 640,000 years ago, a supervolcano erupted, killing millions of prehistoric creatures roaming the ancient landscape. What if an even bigger explosion, a volcanic hypereruption, happened today? Could you survive? Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming. The most powerful volcanic event ever witnessed by mankind has just rocked the Earth. A massive shockwave, equivalent to a magnitude 11 earthquake, now radiates out in all directions. 25,000 people are already dead. Most of them in the falling buildings of Salt Lake City, 260 miles away.
Imagine dropping a concrete brick into a pond. There's the initial splash, but then there's also a whole series of ripples that come out. So after this hypereruption has exploded, the entire ground is just sending ripples out for hundreds of miles.
"400 miles to the northeast, in Trenton, North Dakota, oil tanker trains 118 cars long come and go at a shipping terminal. When the shockwave hits, the terminal's storage tanks rupture, and with the first random spark, 550,000 gallons of oil explode.
These are no ordinary fires. These are fires of black crude oil, which is spewing carbon smoke into the atmosphere. Completely black, completely opaque.